Hey everyone, it's Karina. Welcome to A Life of a Mermaid. Whew. So today was kind of an eventful, emotional day, and I'll go into it. Not sure what's been going on with me all week. I don't know if it's, the anniversary of my client. But this whole week I just been kind of more emotional than normal. And I say that because if you know me, you know I am an emotional person. Like any fucking cartoon will make me cry. Like any cartoon. I can't remember what movie that we watched, and it was something that like normally wouldn't make you cry, but of course I cried. But yeah, anyways. So today again, kind of woke up in a funk. At that point I couldn't really pinpoint it. And I had support around me and, like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. But I was like, no, I'm okay. I just need, like, some alone time. I just need, to focus on me right now. And this is what I'm going to do. But then, like, as we were talking, someone's like, hey, reach out to this person. They can help you. And they're like, I reached out to them. And it was just a helpful situation. So I was like, okay. So as I'm decided to text them, and as I'm texting them, like, everything just came out. Like, everything that was holding on, and I think not being able to identify what it was, it just, like, all came out. So, one of the things that came up for me, I think, was just, again, being in the program and stuff like that, I'm getting overwhelmed. I mean, I think at the moment I took extra responsibilities. And, I'm not blaming it on anyone aside from myself. I take responsibility because, I was talking to someone earlier today and they said, there's other, like, people or captains that can help you. And I was like, yeah, but, I was like, you're right. I was like, the thing is that I'm a control freak. And so I was like, so I think that's kind of where it's stemming from. That when I don't see urgency or I don't see people doing what they're supposed to, instead of either trying to motivate them to do it, I just tend to be like, okay, I'll do it. So that's my bad. Not on them too, because it's like, you also get to show up and do your part. But again, I'm picking up the slack and then I'm putting extra things on myself. So, again, that also falls on me for taking that responsibility when I shouldn't. So that was kind of on my mind, and I was talking to the girls at that point. Just everything was getting super overwhelming, and I was kind of telling them like, fuck this, I just want to quit. And they're like, bitch, you better not. And I was like, I know that's not an option. I was like, right now I'm just feeling what I'm feeling and just going through the motions and allowing myself to just, say it out loud. Because once I say it out loud, I always feel like I can process it. And then it's like, okay, Karina, you're being a bit irrational. Karina, you're being a bitch. Like, but it's like when it's in your mind, again, it's those negative thoughts, those conversations, it's just easy to go with. When you say it out loud, or when you write it, that's when you start realizing, like, oh, fuck, like, I shouldn't have said that. Like, that's coming from here, that's coming from there. So I'm able to just, once I can visualize it or hear it, I'm able to process it. So, yeah, so once I said it again, even after I said it, I was like, that's not an option for me. I didn't come this far just to give up, and I'm not a quitter, but I was like, it just, in the moment, like, that's what I felt. And that's what felt right. So yeah, so just, that was one thing, again, that was kind of weighing hard on me. Just that I take on a lot more responsibilities. But again, that falls on me. Again, like I said, it goes both ways. But I was able to realize, and especially now saying it, like, yeah, like, I am a perfectionist. I don't allow people to step into their potential. I just tend to be like, you know what, I'll do it. Fuck it, like, if I want it done right, like, I'm just gonna do it, and not saying that people can't do things right. Again, this is just my mentality, my conversations, my worldview of up until now. So I realized that this morning. Again, I had a huge breakthrough with that breakdown too. I was like, I cried so much this morning, it's like not even funny, guys. But it was a huge breakthrough. Even now, like I said, I'm like, oh shit, yeah. So that came up. Another thing that had come up for me, has to do with me and Sal. So he's going to Basic this weekend. Like I said, I'm in the Leaders in Transformation program. Basic is like the first weekend, so when you first start the whole journey, if you decide to move forward with it or not, but that's where it starts. And it's called Basic. So the way he basically got enrolled, it was kind of like in a sense, you have to, you know, it's more like, it was presented of, you need to enroll your husband or if not, you're out. So at that point, it was like, you know, like, you're coming. You know, I mean, we had already, like, had a lot of conversations about it. And he was like, no, no, no. And, you know, so anyway, so at that point, like, I mean, I was very open, very honest, very direct with him. And, you know, I was also being loving and supporting, but it was like, hey, this is important to me. This is the way that it was presented to me. Like, you know, so like help. So, I mean, he said, yeah, obviously he was really pissed that day. But he said, yeah, but even now as the day gets closer, which, you know, it's tomorrow, he's getting upset all over again. And it's like everything's coming up again. And it's been kind of triggering me. And again, what I realized, you know, that I think associated with, like, he has to complete all of it. And he has to, you know, I wouldn't say like it, but, like, you know, you have no choice. So I realized that today, you know, when I was talking to one of the seniors, that, you know, basically that I was putting that on him. You know, like I said, as we were talking, and you know, I just pointed out, like, hey, you did your part, the rest is, you know, kind of on him, and whatever, like, happens, you know, that, like, you got him there, and, you know, he's like, you need to realize that this is not for everyone, you know. And then that's, I think, when it hit me, like, oh fuck, like, I've been putting so much pressure on Sal of, like, you have to do this and not just do this. But I think whether I said those specific words or not, I was kind of like, you're gonna like it because you're gonna like it, you know. And it was kind of like, oh shit, you know, like, that's not fair to him. And, you know, so anyways, like, talking to him again made me kind of realize all these things, and made me realize the conversations that I was having and the pressure that I was putting on myself, but also on Sal. So then, you know, after that conversation, like, I text Sal, and I was like, hey, like, I'm sorry, you know, I realized what I was doing. Like, I you know, kind of connected my success in this with you going. And I was like, and that's not fair, because this is my program, you know, my legacy, my time is mine. And, you know, whether you decide to continue or not, like, that's, you know, that's yours. So I was like, it's not right or fair for me to connect the two and, you know, kind of guilt trip you even more into it. So, you know, I was like, again, I appreciate you coming. I know you're coming for me. You know, I was like, if all you are open to is one day or even a couple of hours, like, you know, that's fine, because that's what feels right to you. And again, like, I appreciate you doing this. So again, that was something that was like, super huge on my heart, weighing down on me. So we talked about it. Obviously, we'll talk about it more tonight when we see each other. You know, I mean, yeah, via text or phone. Phone calls is a little hard, just because he's, you know, he works and his work is a little bit stricter. So we can't talk on the phone. But, you know, again, we text, and he replied when he had a chance. But I still want to have that conversation in person. But it's something that, again, another breakthrough. And then the last one, I think I had mentioned a little bit yesterday that I kind of was feeling bullied and, you know, just misunderstood by someone that was supposed to be, like, my support or my go-to person. So I addressed it with somebody else. You know, I just kind of asked for support, and I was like, hey, this is where I'm at. And then I was like, okay, as far as that situation, how should I handle it? So they said, well, reach out to them. You know, it's not only going to be beneficial for you, but it can be beneficial for them. You know, they can see how they're showing up for you. And then again, he's like, you can both learn from this and grow from this, expand from this experience. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, obviously it took me a little bit from the conversation I had up until the point that I addressed it with that person, and also reached out for support, you know, in general, just like, hey, like, you know, I get to do this, I'm gonna do this, you know, support, advice. So again, the girls kind of just pumped me up, you know, kind of reminding me of where to come from and stuff like that. And then, you know, I'm a good writer. I think I write better than I speak sometimes, even though it's getting better. So I text, you know, and I was like, okay, this is how I feel. I basically just said, you know, like, in my experience, you know, it's like you're a bully and you lack compassion. You know, it's like when you present things to me, you know, I was like, you've laughed, and the way you know, keep bringing things up, you know, in our group chat, I was like, it feels, to me, it's like you're taunting me and putting it over my head. You know, and then I said, yes, I've been bullied when I was younger, you know, so again, it's bringing all of those memories and emotions from me, and that's what I tie into you, you know. And I said, As you know, as well, I was like, I don't feel comfortable talking to you. I was like, I feel I'm holding back just because I don't know what's gonna come up. So of course, they text me and they said, "Hey, are you free? Can you talk?" And I was kind of dreading that. Initially, I was thinking of putting like, "I can't talk, just text me." But then I was like, no, that's not right. The point is to address it. And, so you can already be putting like circumstances and limitations on this. Like what needs to happen is going to happen. So it was also like, I was like, yes, I can talk. So they called me, again, I think it kind of took them left field. I think that surprised them a little bit. I think it surprised me too, like I said, but today just everything just fucking hit me. So yeah, so we talked. Again, they took responsibility for their end and I took responsibility for mine. Again, we choose how, things affect us, and we choose whether, we're gonna what monster we feed, the one that's gonna help us be successful, or like, the anxiety, envy, all those negative things that are gonna kind of keep you where you're at. So we talked about that too, like what conversations are going to support you. And, again, we were able to kind of identify where it was coming from. Yeah, it was from being bullied. And then I shared with her, and it kind of came up too. I was like, growing up, I was like, it reminds me a lot of my mom, or at least the dynamics in the relationship at the moment. I was like, it reminds me a lot of my mom, it's because of my mom. I was like, it was like, I could never do enough. Like I was like, no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. I was like, no matter what I did, like she was never proud of me. And I was like, and that's how I feel. Like that's where you take me. That no matter what I do, you're always like, oh, but here, like, but you didn't do this, but you didn't do that. Like, it's never just like, okay, good job, Karina. It's always like, okay, yeah, but here, and so we talked about that, and then again, we were able to kind of shift those conversations, and, and I was telling her, I was like, things are different now with my mom, but I was like, that's, how it was for a long time. But anyway, so it came up just that, I do have those conversations a lot. I think still that I don't matter, that, sorry guys. That I don't have value and stuff like that. And it's something that, on and off again, I struggle with. So again, that was, I think the biggest thing too that came from that conversation, just kind of realizing that. So again, I am worthy. I matter. I have value. My voice is powerful. And I'm learning to see this and accept this 24/7. So I'm not saying it just to say it. It's something that I do believe. But again, my biggest struggle up until now is believing it all the time. I feel like some moments and then other moments I'm like, ah. So, again, my commitment to myself is to believe it all the time. And, not believe it, but own it, because it's true. I know it's true. It's just some days the negative voices, take over and I forget it on some days. But again, for the most days, the most part, I know this and I feel it and believe it and own it, But again, my commitment is to believe it, own it, and feel it and see it every day, all day. But yeah, so again, that was another huge breakthrough. We just had like a huge conversation, just kind of about that. Again, they took ownership of their things, and they shared a little bit, and but again, this is about me, and but yeah, so it was really good. Like I said, it was just a day of like breakdown, and then like breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, and I feel great. Like I said, initially my day I was kind of like down, and then after all the crying and all the conversations, like I just felt more upbeat. And I know, like I said, yes, I'm an emotional mess. I am emotional, I cry, and that's just who I am. It was brought up to my attention last time, like, oh, sometimes I'm scared or worried about like telling you certain things because you're gonna cry, and like you're emotional, and it's kind of like, yeah, but like that's who I am. Like I didn't say that, but I'm thinking like I'm emotional. That's what makes me me. And again, I think that's also like at least for myself, I see it as a tool with my clients. Because I normalized that for them. I had one client who a couple years ago, you know, we were talking and they had problems. They had trouble expressing themselves. I'm opening my windows. They had problems like being emotional and expressing themselves, again, because of things that they've been through when they were younger. And I remember, again, kind of just normalizing that for them and telling them, you know what, I cry all the time. Like, I watch cartoons, I even watch action movies, and I cry, you know? And so I remember them sharing, like, they were having a really tough time one day, and they were crying, you know, or about to cry, and then they were kind of trying to hold it back, and then they reminded themselves, they're like, Karina cries, so it's okay to cry. And, like, when they shared that, like, that melted my heart. Like, that meant the world to me, you know? And again, I think that also kind of just really, like, finalized it for me that, again, it is okay to be emotional, you know? That, you know, you being emotional can inspire others and can allow others to tap into that, you know? But again, back to the comment that I received, you know, they're like, oh, we're scared of, you know, kind of your reaction to things. And I told them, you know what, I'll tell you the same thing that I tell my husband. It's okay if I cry. Like, I was like, I'm a big girl, I'm a woman, and it's okay if I cry. I was like, that's how I deal with things. That's, you know, my coping mechanism, and that's, you know, how I'm able to move forward, by crying, you know, or by allowing myself to feel. Because again, for so long I didn't. For so long, you know, I've always, you know, again, growing up Mexican, growing up in my house, you know, you don't talk about your feelings, you know, especially being Mexican. It's always like, you know, ¿por qué estás llorando? ¿Quieres que te dé una razón para llorar? You know, why are you crying? Do you want me to give you a reason to cry? Like, you know, I don't know if all Mexicans or Latino homes, you guys heard that, but, you know, growing up in my home, that was a thing, you know, we heard that all the time, you know, it's like, why are you crying? You want me to give you a reason to cry? And you're like, no, you know, and you just stop crying. So it's like, you know, like I said, growing up, I never talked about my emotions. I never, you know, it was, you know, with friends when I started really, like, developing that comfort to talk about how I'm feeling. And even then, you know, I think it wasn't until, like, therapy and being in the field myself that I've been able to really fully embrace, you know, tapping into my emotions and fully talking about it. And even then, like I said, it took till now, you know, me posting it on here and stuff like that. But you know, but yeah, tangent. But back to the point, yeah, I was just saying, like, this is how I deal with my emotions and stuff like that. And like I said, despite everything, I'm really proud of myself because I was able to address it up front, you know, with them about how I was feeling. Like, I was telling them, you know, I was like, yeah, like, you know, I was like, it took me all morning just to reach out to you and to text you. And even then I did a text instead of, you know, I could have done a call, you know, initially. You know, but I was like, but I did it, so I'm proud of myself for not backing down and sticking to that, you know. But yeah, so like I said, it was just a day of, like, breakthroughs. It was an emotional day. But again, the crying, the emotions is something that helps me. It's something that, you know, it just, you know, it's part of my coping mechanism, and it's part of what helps me heal and move forward. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. Like I said, it was really just a crazy day, but I mean, again, I wouldn't change it because so many good things came out of it. And then yeah, so I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. And then, like, overall work was good. It was really quiet, so again, just got to kind of work on my stuff, do catch up on things, phone calls, notes, that kind of stuff. I bought some stickers, so I'm super excited about that for my cup. I bought one a couple weeks ago, maybe. No, she started in September, so yeah, a couple weeks, maybe close to a month by now. Sorry, new stretch. Because the other one I had was a little too small. Every time I hit the gym, I'm still like thirsty. So I bought that one, but you know, it's like, it's just solid blocks. So I bought some stickers today, so I'm super excited. I can't wait till I get them, and then I can show you guys once I put them on. And then today's my first day of volunteering. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So I'm excited, a little nervous, but excited. We'll see how it goes. I had told her I just kind of wanted to, like, shadow today, or just kind of see what's going on. And then, you know, hopefully next week or the week after that, I can actually do, like, a group and start doing activities and things like that. So I'm excited for that. Then one thing that I did kind of want to touch base on today, or kind of talk about, I can't remember if I've done this, if I talked about this or not before. But I wanted to talk about, again, just growing up, but it was more of like, I think high school, middle school. Like I shared earlier, like I was bullied. And I think I still carry that with me. I still, I still am that hurt, little girl. Just still feeling misunderstood, not accepted, and not by everyone, but it's really just the conversations that I'm creating with myself. So yeah, I kind of wanted to share that with you guys. I was always just teased about my weight, my glasses. Initially, I started wearing glasses when I was 10. So I remember when I first got them. I mean, I already wasn't happy about it, and glasses weren't like cute back in the days. They're the big old round ones, and so yeah, they weren't cute. um, but yeah, I remember like when I first, got them. Again, I was upset, because you're a kid, not everyone's wearing them, and why me? And I remember, the first day I went to school, and it was, I was wearing them, and then it's like, kids started like 4 eyes, 4 eyes, 4 eyes, and it's like now it's like, okay, like whatever, stupid, but it's like, at that moment, especially being a kid, and it's something that you're already like not wanting to use or wear, and then you're getting, teased and talked to like that. Of course, it's gonna make it worse. So I was already teased about that. Again, I developed at a pretty young age, so I had, my boobs. Um, Again, some kids will make comments about that already and stuff like that. So I was always, I think, again, I was always just self-conscious of my body, and, I mean, I wasn't like fat at that time, but I wasn't like skinny either. So again, I always realized like I was like taller than most of the girls. I was, just bigger boned than most of the girls. So I was always grew up just being very self-conscious and self-aware of myself. I was in middle school, again, people started dating, and it's like, of course, I didn't date in middle school. I didn't, no one necessarily, wanted to talk to me in that way. So again, that fucks with you, that fucks with your self-esteem and your confidence. And I remember one time, I actually never shared this with anyone. We were in a group, and one group was a bunch of guys, other group, I can't remember if it was like all girls or maybe like one guy and all the rest girls. I can't remember at this point. But they were writing each other notes, and again, I was like a total nerd, total square. So I'm doing my homework, the assignment, and they're like writing to each other back and forth, and then they send a note, and the girl reads it, and she's like, "Oh, like this is fucked up," and she puts it away, and the guys are laughing, and then someone else reads it, and they're like, "Oh, like Karina's not even saying nothing, like that's fucked up," and I'm kind of like, "What?" So they're like, "No, don't read it." And I'm like, "No, well, you guys are saying my name, and like let me see it." And then it said, "Oh, Karina should call Jenny Craig," and that was at the time when the whole weight loss with her was huge. And I remember like I just kind of teared up, and I put my head down, and because it was like out of nowhere, like I was literally just sitting there doing my homework, and they're having a conversation, and then to see that, it's like just yeah, it hurt my feelings, more than anything. So again, another situation of just just being judged based on my looks, and then in high school, same. I mean, a little bit of my weight, but again, same thing. Didn't date anyone. No one was necessarily interested in me. At least not that anyone said. And then I was very, very in tune with myself. I think in high school and my emotions, and I expressed how I felt through my clothing. So it was either like all black or again super colorful. I had like bracelets like up to like here. I would carry little lunch boxes as purses. I was very like eccentric at that time, and people didn't understand that. At least not my high school and the people that I was with at that point. So I was always again just being bullied, being told shit. I was always being called a lesbian just because I had colorful stuff and stuff like that. And so again, it was looking back, I mean, it's like, how are you supposed to come from a place of loving and accepting yourself when all you're hearing is, you're this, you're that, you're, being picked on and pinpoint, and them pinpointing every aspect of you, as a bad thing. But again, it's so, I just kind of wanted to share that because that's all that stuff came up for me today. Just kind of again reliving everything, but it's like, I'm not that little girl anymore. I am a confident, caring, loving leader. I'm an amazing woman. I'm a daughter, a wife, a job developer, a friend, a sister. I'm so many different things now, and it's like I just need to tap into that little girl and talk to her and nurture her and, let her know that things are going to be okay, that, that you're going to find an amazing man that loves you, that those stupid kids don't matter and you don't talk to any of them anymore because they don't matter. And that you're going to have a career, you're going to have a job that you love, you're going to have friends that love you unconditionally, and friends that support you and are there for you no matter what. You're going to get close to your family and they're going to tell you that they love you, and you're going to tell them that you love them. And things are going to be fucking amazing, and yeah, you're going to have some bad days, but overall most of them are good, and you're growing, and you're expanding and teaching people and learning, and it's going to be amazing. So that's my commitment, that I'm gonna meet up with that little girl, and we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna be there for her, and I'm gonna love her and just hug her and support her, and let her know that things are gonna be okay. So again, just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. I have a couple of minutes for me to go in, so I'll wrap it up. But yeah, so that's kind of what came up for me today. Again, it started off emotional, started off a little rocky, but it ended up being a really good day. Again, I was able to also reflect on myself, kind of think about all these things that I told you guys. And, and again, I'm making that commitment to talk to my inner child, to Karenita, and, heal those wounds with her. But again, thank you guys for your support. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. If not, until next time. Bye, guys.